Welcome back, mathematicians. Today we are working on Unit 8 still. We're getting close to our quiz, which is on Friday. It'll cover lessons 1 through 7. Okay, so we have this lesson and tomorrow's will be on the quiz along with everything else that we've covered so far. Our focus for today is to convert among customary measures of weights. So again, we're in the customary system, which isn't that nice, neat base 10 that we loved so much. It's a little bit more complicated, but it is more familiar to us because that's what we use in the United States. Okay, so we're focusing on weight, and if you look at your student activity book, which we're starting on page 277 today, it says fractions and weights. Okay, so you can expect to use some fractions with this. Okay. So for units of measure that are, or customary measures that are weight, we have ounces, pounds, which is the one we're most familiar with because we weigh ourselves in pounds, and tons, which is what you'd use for a car or a truck. Sometimes elephants are weighed in tons because they're just so big. Okay, ounces are typically more of what we use with cooking. You know, we need 2 ounces of meat for our recipe of lasagna or whatever it might be. Okay, so over here in your student activity book, you have a helpful chart that tells you 1 pound equals 16 ounces. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Okay, so if you have an elephant that weighs 1 ton, that's a big elephant. Okay, if you have an elephant that weighs 2 tons, that's a really big elephant. Okay, how many pounds would that be? 4,000. Okay, so if you look here in your student activity book, we have a table. Okay, we've worked with tables before, just in our last unit, and we're looking at how many ounces would equal a certain amount of pounds. And you notice that ounces are smaller than pounds, so you're going to end up with fractions here. Okay, because 16 pounds, if we finish this, or 16 ounces, excuse me, would be 1 pound. So everything less than 16 ounces is going to be a fraction of a pound. So 1 ounce is 1 out of 16 ounces in a pound. So it's 1/16 of a pound. Since there are 16 ounces in a pound, 1 ounce would be 1/16 of that pound. And then from there, we can use our knowledge of equivalent fractions. Okay. So the next one would be 2 out of 16 ounces, which would simplify to 1/8. What would 4 be? We would have 4 ounces out of a total of 16 because we know that 1 ounce or 1 pound equals 16 ounces, and that would simplify to 1/4. 8 ounces out of the 16 that make up a pound would simplify to 1/2. 12 ounces out of the 16 that make up a pound would simplify to what? 3/4? Did I hear? Okay. So filling in that table and seeing the relationship between those terms is going to help you understand, or going to help you through your conversions that are coming later on down the page and in your homework tonight. Okay, so your homework on Think Central looks very similar to what you're used to. You'll have some conversions just like this. You'll have some word problems. So it's very similar to what we've been using. Okay, let's try some of these. Let's do number 2. 64 ounces equals how many pounds? Well, how many ounces are in each pound again? Oops, I meant to put ounces there, so let me try that again. So 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So if we have 64 ounces, how many pounds is that? I hear 4 right off the bat. How did you know that? What did you do to solve that problem for yourself, Jess? Okay, so you used some math reasoning to help you with that. You knew 15 times 4 equals 60. And so one more of that would get you to 64 because you're doing it times 4. So if you added one more to that 15, it'd be 64. But what mathematical computation did you do to figure that out? That's great math reasoning skills. Amanda, what'd you do? Okay, good. We took 64, the total number of ounces that we had, and we divided it by how many ounces are in each pound. And our quotient would give us the answer of how many pounds there are, which Jess was right with her reasoning. It would be 4. Okay. So again, we're going from something small, an ounce, to something larger. It's a pound. So therefore, we are needing to divide. I would like you to look at number 6. Now, the reason I'm having you look at number 6 is because the blank, the unknown, comes first. So if you're thinking about that, we're going from tons, which is really big, if we're going in order of how it's written, tons to pounds. Okay? So technically, if we're thinking if it goes in order, tons is huge to pounds is small, we would think multiplication, right? However, do we need to multiply here? No, we need to actually divide, because what is it that we actually know? We know how many pounds there are, right? Which is a smaller amount than tons. So we are actually converting a smaller amount of pounds to a larger amount of tons. So what do we need to really do? Divide. So I saw some of us with our homework get confused with that, where we thought, okay, well, I'm going from pounds to tons, so I need to multiply. Well, or I'm sorry, from tons to pounds, so I need to multiply. But that's just if it goes in order, but that's not necessarily in order. It's what you know going to the unknown. Okay, so we know there are this many pounds, so we're converting pounds to tons, which means we need to divide. What do we need to divide by? Why 2,000? Excellent. That's how many pounds are in every ton. Okay, we can actually do that. It should be 7, and then fill those back in. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so how many tons would it be? 7 tons. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. If the unknown is first, don't necessarily go in the order. Okay, so try number 8. We have a fraction involved there, which sometimes trips us up, but we're getting better and better the more we practice. So try number 8 and let's see what we come up with. All right, let's look at our work and see how we did. We are going from, or we're trying to figure out how many ounces are in 5 1/4 pounds. So the known factor that we have here is 5.5 pounds. And we need to convert that into ounces. So are we going from something large to small or small to large? Which one's larger, pounds or ounces? Pounds, and that's our known. So we're starting something larger and going to something smaller. So what do we need to do? Multiply. Okay, so multiply by what? Why 16? It's how many ounces are in each pound. Okay, so in order to do this, there's a couple ways we can solve this. My first thinking is to turn this into an improper fraction, which would be 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. And then I put this over 1 to make it an improper fraction as well. Did I change that number at all? Nope, it's still representing the same thing, because if I have one piece in each thing and I have 16 of those, you get the idea, that'll be 16 wholes. Okay, can I cross simplify to make my life easier? I sure can. That would be a 1, this would be a 4, because I divided each of those by 4. That just gives me smaller numbers to work with. It makes it nice and easy, because look at what my denominator is now. Awesome. 21 times 4. 84. Good, so that means that there are 84 ounces. in 5.5 or 5.25, 5 1/4 pounds. Okay, let's look at a word problem just to make sure that we're understanding those. Number 11, a 1/4 pound package of sunflower seeds costs 79 cents. An 8-ounce package costs $1.59. Which package represents the lower cost per ounce? This is something that as adults we use a lot, especially when we're going grocery shopping and they have all these different sizes of the same thing. Let's say ketchup. Have you ever looked at the grocery store of ketchup? They have like 1,000 different sizes of ketchup available to buy, not to mention different brands as well. Okay, so if you look at the ketchup aisle, next time you go to the grocery store, check it out. It's overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh, what do I choose? How do I know? There's different flavors, there's different brands, there's different sizes. It's all kinds of, it's too many options. Too many options of ketchup. We're using sunflower seeds right now. Okay, so think about when you're finding the cost per ounce, you want to get the lowest cost per ounce because that means you're saving the most money. Okay, you're spending less money per ounce than you would be with this one over here. Okay, so let's look at sunflower seeds. This is a very real life problem. I will be doing this after school today actually when I go to the grocery store. So if 1/4 package, 1/4 of a pound costs how much? How much? 79 cents. An 8-ounce package costs how much? $1.59, right? $1.59. Okay, so we need to do a conversion here, right? Are we using the same units of measure? Nope, we have pounds and ounces. So we need to make those the same so that we can compare the prices. Okay, but we would have to remember when we change these, this is also going to change, right? Okay, so which way would be easier to go? Pounds to ounces, ounces to pounds? Doesn't matter. Nope, it does not matter. So whichever one you're more comfortable with. If you're comfortable comparing fractions, go that way. If you're thinking, yeah, I kind of would like to go to whole numbers or decimals, then change them to ounces. Okay, so either way that you do it, let's look at both ways. Okay, so if we did 8 ounces equals how many pounds? How do we figure that out? I heard half right away. How do you know that? You know, 16 ounces equals 1 pound, and 8 is half of 16, right? So half of that would be 1/2. Okay, so that means that 1/2 pound equals $1.59, and 1/4 pound equals 79 cents. Okay, so can we get these to be the same? The two fractions? We can get the same denominator, right? Okay, so what would be the same denominator? We can change this one to 4. What would be the numerator? Okay, so that could help us. Does that help us compare the prices? Getting there, right? So 2/4 of a pound equals $1.59. 1/4 of a pound equals 79 cents. So what do we need to do here in order to compare? How can we get this fraction equal to 2/4? Double it, right? Okay, 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4. So if we double this, we need to double this. Okay, so what's 79 cents times 2? So which one is cheaper? Green or red? Green. By how much? 1 tiny little penny. Let's see if we get the same answer going the other way with our conversion. Now we want to know 1/4 pound equals how many ounces? So remember, 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So what's 1/4 of 16? Do we all agree? Okay, we can also go back to our chart here to double check. Is 1/4 equal to 4 ounces? Yes. Okay, so now we know we're looking at 4 ounces. Okay, so we have 4 ounces equals 79 cents. 8 ounces equals $1.59. How do we get these to be the same? Same as we did over here, right? We have to double it. So if we double this one, we're going to get 8 ounces equals, same work up here, right? 79 cents times 2 is the same work. Did we get the same answer? Yep. Just a matter of if you're comfortable working with fractions or not. Or if you just think this is more efficient for you. Okay?